So let's visit Philippines today. Um, as you can see, this is Philippines, and you can visit any other country this way, but I'm showing Philippines as an example. So at first, let's say we are an alien and looking at this uh, country, and we can see that there are dark green regions and light green to brownish regions. And one might guess, if we didn't know about humans living here and about how they cut trees and deforestation, we might say that this is maybe like there are mountains. These dark green regions are mountains. In fact, they are actually mountains. But we might guess that because the mountains are cooler, they might be more moist, and lower altitudes might be hotter and drier, and we can say that maybe this the differences in color and lack of dense forests in most of the region is due to dry conditions. But this is not the case. uh, as we can see here, the map of Philippines, and if we go to the south, uh, the, the region at the bottom, we can see that this region is a tropical rainforest. So it's basically a very rainy region. There is no lack of water there. I mean, it is basic. It must be basically a tropical rainforest. And in fact, the mountains are considered as a temperate region. So it is almost opposite case that we have guessed just by looking at the map without knowing about how humans behave towards nature. So let's zoom in more. So as an alien, let's say we are in a UFO and we are just approaching, and we just wondered, like we had a theory and we want to see if it is true or not. So we are just approaching towards these brown regions, and at some point, uh, as an alien, you just realize, oh, the landscape is changing. Like it becomes like you can see boxes, so lots of boxes, and let's keep zooming in. So then eventually you realize that this land has been highly disturbed. Either it is being farmed, agriculture, or it has been farmed, deforested, and just left alone. Uh, lots of boxes. Just as an alien, you just realize that these are basically no wildlife left. I mean, uh, the wildlife lives in in healthy regions like that. See, because these are mountains, humans somehow don't find it easy, effective to live on the mountains. And uh, look at these regions, and look at the forest canopy. Beautiful, healthy, at least trees. It must be like this. And imagine all the life living in this region. Just huge biodiversity potential there. And then you go to these disturbed areas. I mean, yeah, there are some light green areas, on the hills, but look at these. Almost fully brown. The soil is bare. Just this is bare soil. incredible. Like what we did. Okay, here's a church. Here's like, you know, um, what we did to nature. It is incredible in the worst ways. And each of these people living there, most of them, I mean, almost practically all of them, have no idea what they are in and what they are doing. Everybody is just playing their own roles without seeing the big picture, and each of them are just basically doing this. It is incredible. So they just cover around their houses. If they love nature, they just cover around their houses with trees, so they will have the illusion of living in nature while destroying the rest. Look at this. Crazy. Really madness. And if you think that this is normal, I mean, you know, farming, agriculture started about 10,000, 12,000 years ago. And for the most part, we didn't have this thing, this agricultural thing. We didn't have this miles and miles, like endless sea of abuse of nature and, you know, Mother Nature. It is crazy that all these rivers are being polluted by the runoff of soil, because it's basically bare soil. It's open to erosion, and all these pesticides, all these fertilizers running into the rivers, basically killing wildlife there as well. Luckily for the rivers, that this is a rainforest region, so probably they are not using that much water from the river because it's already very rainy. But in terms of pollution, so this is a weird region. I mean, it seems green. Let's, but oh, holy, oh my God! Do you know what they are? These are plantations. I think they are maybe palm oil. Like even if you see dark green as forest like this, they are not natural. You just zoom in, and then you just understand that they are just, you know, see the pattern. Like they are planted uh, monocultures. No life here, right? It's crazy that even the forests are fake now. It is, they are not even forests. They are basically deserts uh, with a forest mask. So, you know, like people are fake nowadays, and the forests also become fake. You know, useless, or lifeless, or, you know, uh, soulless in a way. This is, I don't know about you, but this really makes me very incredibly sad just to see uh, what we have reduced uh, this beautiful place to. I mean, so you can see the scale of this. You can see the scale of this, and um, you know, once it was a beautiful rainforest, and now, and well, in Indonesia, here, let's see, it seems that these places are healthier because maybe this has more mountains. So, you know, one wishes that the whole earth was mountains, so the humans wouldn't touch them. But uh, so these regions, maybe they're hilly and lots of mountains, so it just makes it difficult for not in economical. So it it makes farming here expensive. That's why humans are staying away from these mountain and hilly regions and abusing these regions, the flatter regions. Let's go here. The same situation. The mountains, green. Um, let's zoom in. Zoom in. Oh, I can see. I can see the fragmentation. I can see that humanity did something here, something terrible. I can see that these are again monoculture plantations of trees. Incredible. Incredible. I'm just randomly zooming in. Just, I mean, I'm not picking these things. Like, you can do this yourself as well. I mean, not just here. Okay, you can go, let's say go to Europe. Okay, go to Europe and let's start zooming in. Um, you can already see, I mean, the green regions. Okay, uh, the Italy, obviously, North Italy is uh, basically, you know, very disturbed. Oh, look at this. And you can't find a, I mean, where do you expect wild animals to live? Imagine that all these places were full of animals, all kinds of wild animals, wildlife. And thanks to mountains again, there is some green left. Uh, but the rest is basically dead in my eyes and in the wildlife's eyes. Yeah, so if you found this interesting, you can play, like, see this as a game of the end. You know, some say like end game of civilization. So we can play this game. See this as a game and like try to find regions that are not disturbed by human activity. Very difficult game to play. You see. Um, so basically the dark green areas are hopefully natural forests. I mean, if there is any such thing left anymore, you can see this is the healthy canopy, and the rest is basically just deforested areas in between. And these people living there call themselves civilized, and they they are happy with what they are doing. I mean, happy. I mean, maybe they are proud of their what they are doing. They say, "I'm working," or "I have graduated from here," or whatever they have been brainwashed into telling to themselves to feel valuable. They each of them being a cell of a tumor or cancer on Mother Earth, and I don't know how someone keeps their sanity while just observing this phenomena going on, and this happens in the last 10,000 years to Mother Nature, and it's happening at an exponentially growing rate. And we, as you can see, that this we have come to the limits of this expansion uh, over the last decades. I think maybe 20, 30 years ago, uh, like there is almost no potential land left to expand this madness into. Uh, so basically, it is the end of the exponential growth, and of the agricultural land, and basically that would be a start of the collapse, because once you grow, there was an exponential growth phenomena, and we know that exponential growth overshoots just basically destroys the land base, as you can see here, the natural habitats that we all depend on. And actually, it is very surprising that after all this destruction, Mother Nature still keeps going on. Like, it is so uh, resilient, so uh, you know resistant. So after all this deforestation, it can still uh, survive in many ways, and this gives people the illusion that this can keep going on forever. But unfortunately, um, if you know about the environmental issues, that they are getting worse and worse, most of them, except the ozone layer here. There was ozone layer here, I think, at Antarctica. So except that, it is recovering. Uh, all other problems are getting worse and worse. Um, yeah. And it's a limited earth, you can see, and you can't consume it forever. So eventually, uh, there will be like the tipping points, and the earth will say, okay, let's say the Arctic sea ice melt, the earth will say, sorry, I tried to uh, welcome you, humanity, but you have abused me so far that um, you have basically destroyed the conditions that enabled you to to flourish. And uh, so this is the night view. You can see the populations here. I mean, you can see here who is destroying the earth more, because um, actually this is very weird that India contributes to climate change so little compared to, I mean, to USA or to Europe or China, etc. But it has so many lights. I mean, the energy consumption. So it is just basically. Um, this is weird. I need to look into that more, because it's interesting. There are so many people there, and I would guess like they are. I was thinking maybe they are just living um, without much technology. But when you look at it at night, I mean, almost everywhere is like lighting up. So they are not living in a natural setting, in a backwards village or something like that. Backwards meaning like the natural setting. Um, yeah, so I should look that up. Interesting. Thank you very much for listening, and just play this game by yourself as well.